I want to share my story in triathlon in the hopes that it can help people who want to make a change in their life take that first step in making that change. In my late 20s, I was 215 pounds with a size 40 waist. I hated my life, I hated my job, and I was worried that I was never going to amount to anything. I drank every Friday and Saturday night to escape from my sadness, only to wake up the next morning ashamed about why I was drinking so much. I hated my body, I couldn't run to the end of the block, and as a result I felt insecure and ignored around women. Fast forward a bunch of years to today, and I've competed in Ironman World Championship triathlons, completed record-setting open water marathon swims, started one of the fastest growing endurance sport technology companies in the world, and married a local hottie from TV. It literally all started changing when I took up triathlon because tackling those first few races gave me the confidence and health that I needed to change my life. Now I'm going to share the 3 phases of how I did it with you here today so you too can change your life if you want to. What's up, motivators? If you don't know me, my name's Taren and I'm the CEO of a company called MOTTIV, where we help ordinary people accomplish something extraordinary in endurance sports to help change their lives with our totally free MOTTIV training plans. The thing about me is that I didn't start out as an athlete, an entrepreneur, or even somebody with the confidence to think that I could do that at any point in my life, but taking on triathlons in those first few races were the thing that allowed me to have that confidence and make those changes in my life. So if you want to make some changes in your life, come along, we'll talk about it here today. Let's do it. By the time I was in my late 20s, life really had hit me like a ton of bricks. The career in finance that I thought I wanted was absolutely soul crushing and ruining my confidence, and I wondered if I'd ever be happy in my career. The teenage metabolism that I had was completely gone, so my weekend drinking and fast food trips caught up to me, making me the heaviest I'd ever been at 215 pounds. I knew I needed to make a change, and I thought that setting a big goal like triathlon would be the change that I needed to get me moving. But the thing is, I hadn't swam since I was about 10 years old, I didn't own a bike, and I couldn't even run to the end of the block. I was starting from absolutely nothing. So I started by asking a friend I knew who did triathlons how to start doing races. And he's a really blunt fellow, so he said, well, you enter a triathlon and then you do it. None of us start knowing what to do, you just figure it out as you go. Now, I say that to everyone. You need a goal on the calendar and you need to tell people about that goal. Do that, and right away you're gonna get motivation that you didn't know that you had because you don't wanna let them down and you don't wanna let yourself down at that point. Now, I wish that I could tell you that I just did the first triathlon and my life was instantly changed, but that wasn't the case. I was on the front row of the struggle bus in triathlon for 2 years in race after race after race. But doing that first race, I did become hooked on pushing my body. The thing about it was that even though I wasn't racing triathlons well, the structure of the training leading up to the race and the act of accomplishing a big goal started changing me in really small ways right away. Weight started falling off without me really having to think about my diet. My diet started getting better without me really even having to think about it, just because I wanted more energy for my workouts. I felt confidence to leave my finance career and try several jobs to learn what I really loved. I rarely drank because I wanted to be fresh for workouts the next morning, so I didn't feel bad about myself. And I was more confident about myself, feeling better about my body, so conversations with women became easier. And I met my now wife, who was a local TV reporter who I thought for years was super hot. Still do. She edits these videos too. So while my life was changing for the better and I was collecting finisher medals, I wanted more. I wanted to see if I could be more than just somebody who finished in the middle of the field in races. I wanted to finally get over my lifelong fear of open water. I wanted to see if I could do more than just limp across the finish line of a half marathon. And I wanted to see if I could do the granddaddy of all physical goals, take on an Ironman. The problem was that after 2 years of training, I was still spinning my wheels because all the information out there for us amateur athletes is written by current and former professional athletes and elite level coaches who literally don't even understand what the challenges are that us amateur athletes go through, let alone come up with a system to help us amateur athletes overcome those challenges. At that point, I had to do what led to the creation of this YouTube channel. I had to start over from scratch, relearning how to swim, bike, and run. With swimming, I realized that after 2 years, I was still struggling to breathe and I sank in the water. So I stopped doing workouts and just focused on whatever drills I could think of that would help me fix those 2 issues. All those drills became our Swimming Foundations book. With biking, I didn't have much endurance and I wasn't very fast. So I created 2 workouts every single week that I focused on. One that was really easy, that would allow me to bike for a long time and build up endurance, and one that was focused on intervals that were really fast so I could build up speed. And these workouts became the basis of our Bike Foundations book. And then running, well, running has always been really tough for me because, frankly, I'm not built to be a runner. I'm big, I am blocky, I have thick thighs, I have a broad chest with big shoulders, all while having a 30-inch inseam and being only 5'8". So when you say that you are not built for running, I take the cake of not being built for running. So running still felt really blocky and clumsy to me. So after 2 years of running still hurting me, I retaught myself how to run smoothly and efficiently, and this technique became the basis of our Run Foundations book. Basically, with every aspect of endurance sports, I stopped following what all the articles and books out there said to do and focused on building the foundations first before I even started thinking about those more sophisticated training methods. And it worked. Literally over the course of one winter, I went from a middle of the pack athlete to getting on podiums. I took on a 16-mile open water marathon swim. I shaved 20 minutes off my half marathon time, and regularly, every single race, I was on the overall finish podium of local triathlons. And for about 5 years in my mid-30s, life seemed kind of easy for the first time. I married that TV hottie. I started this YouTube channel to share those foundational skills I learned and nobody else was talking about in endurance sports. I took on bigger and bigger races, getting faster, eventually becoming a top 1% in the world elite amateur triathlete. I completed the longest open water marathon swim ever completed in our province with a couple of buddies. And I had the confidence to take a chance and start a little side project app that was first called Team Trainiac and is now known as MOTTIV. Now, I wish that that was the last phase of my story and that everything was as easy as just getting fit, taking up triathlon, and then living a super fantastic life, but that isn't at all what happened because I fell into the trap that is so common in the fitness industry. I thought that bigger, better, faster goals, more training, and more defined abs was always the answer. I got a lot of followers from this approach, but training hard while not really training smart eventually caught up to me. In 2019, I had my best year in triathlon ever, setting a personal best half Ironman of 4 hours and 28 minutes, finishing in the top 20 of 2 international races with thousands of athletes. And I finally completed my first full Ironman in 9 hours and 41 minutes after thinking that I would never be able to race an Ironman in under 10 hours in my life. But at the end of 2019, cracks started showing in the armor that I had put up for myself. Despite training more than 15 hours per week and counting every single calorie that I ate, I gained 12 pounds over the course of 2019. And in the winter after, I gained even more weight. Small injuries became chronic injuries that just didn't go away. And in 2020, when COVID hit and the stress of everything became too much, I fell into a really deep depression that is hard to talk about right now, but it's good to talk about. And eventually it got to the point that I was literally thinking about just swerving into traffic while I was on my bike so that I could end it all. And you see, what happened was the years of training solely for those fast finish times at all costs resulted in me damaging my stomach so that my digestive system was a mess, causing those health issues and eventually leading to the weight gain. And then the constant stress of hormones and the hard training led to some really weird brain chemistry and thought patterns that made me think that I always needed to pursue bigger races, faster times, more defined abs, more followers on YouTube, and that without that, I had no worth. So when all that went away during COVID, because races all went away, I literally didn't know why I existed anymore. Everything was built upon finish times. So endurance sports, the thing that changed my life, was now a major cause, if not the cause, of my life possibly slipping away. So that was 3 years ago. I'm healthy and I'm fit again, so there's no need to worry about that. But normally these stories end with a hero's journey where I would come back with a big race, be fit again, and have a huge achievement. But that's not how endurance sports saved me this time. When I was knocked on my ass because of my body breaking down, there being no races to enter due to COVID, I had a lot more time. So I started spending a lot more time focusing on that little side project Team Trainiac app. I wanted the app to be what I needed when I was first getting started. Something that would take athletes from nothing all the way to the finish line of whatever endurance race goal that they wanted, and do so without costing a lot of money while keeping us all happy and healthy at the same time. I wanted the app to help ordinary people accomplish those extraordinary things without having to encounter the 2 years of challenges that I encountered at the start of getting into triathlon, or the health issues that I faced at the end of my 10 years of racing. Now, this definitely isn't a cliche story about an entrepreneur who starts an app to solve their own problems and then a few years later is wildly successful, because that is not whatsoever how it has gone. Yes, we are very fortunate that our app is much bigger than it was several years ago. We have nearly 6,000 users. We have several thousand new users that sign up for our app every week. We have a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on the App Store, and an excellent team of growing people all around the world that help MOTTIV become what it is. But getting there is agonizingly stressful every single day. It is difficult emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. It's tough. What gets me through all of those hard days isn't actually those lessons that I learned in training for those big races. That's not what is helping me get through it right now. It's all of you. In this phase of my journey, you are the heroes of the story. What I thought I wanted for all those years was more and more personal achievements, but what I needed was a purpose focused on helping others. So while the races, the fitness, and the YouTube channel changed my life, they didn't fulfill my life. What's finally given me a sense of fulfillment is focusing on how we can build a product that is truly revolutionary, that helps millions of people like you, like me, aspiring endurance athletes from all around the world, that I want to be able to have the life-changing benefits that I was lucky enough to experience from endurance sports. While the races themselves changed my life, the community of all of you athletes taking part in those races is what saved my life. When the days get hard now, what makes them easier is by focusing simply on building something that is as helpful as possible to as many people as possible. And that's where the transformation journey ends right now, but it's not over. All of you at the start of your journeys wondering if you can change your life are my focus. I believe that you all have so much more than you're capable of, and big endurance race goals can help you get to where you want to be in life because you'll have the confidence to take on those other challenges. Our little part in the world is just to create an app that is ready to help you when you believe in yourself enough to take on those challenges. But I'm going to give you a little nudge right now and let you know that you are ready. Like my friend said to me over 12 years ago when I was doubting myself, all you have to do is enter a race and then do it. You'll figure out the rest as you go. Just enter a race and tell your friends if you've been on the fence about it. You never know how a small decision like that can lead to changing your life. And if you want help along the way to know what workouts to do, what to buy, where to find a community, that's where our app comes in. And we hope to just be a small little part that has the honor of helping you get where you want to be with all of the hard work that you are willing to put in. So thanks for watching this video to the end, and thanks to everyone who has been with us in this journey for the past 8 years. All of you have gotten me through every single step of this journey, along with my lovely TV hottie wife, and all of you are the focus of the next step of the journey in giving back to the endurance community. Thanks for watching, motivators. Later.